All right, talking about the bright future, not just for Indian hospitality, but for Indian hotels as well. That is Puneet Chatwal in conversation with Nikunj. But what's happening with the markets then? And we're continuing to hold out very quiet in trade around the 24,750 mark. Are we going to see that, sort of decisive move on the upside like we witnessed in the fag end of the trading day on Friday? We'll have to wait and watch. But yet again, now roles have reversed. It's the broader market that is taking leadership, and that's where the traction is evident. Let's move right on then. Mahindra Logistics in the spotlight. Will the second half be better? What can we expect when it comes to volumes? Profitability? We've got with us Rampraveen Swaminathan, Managing Director and CEO at Mahindra Logistics. Thank you so very much for taking time out. I want to talk a little bit about what the festive season were like. Where was the traction coming in from? How would you characterize it versus some of the previous years and quarters?
I think overall positive festive environment. We did see traction in volume across most of our business lines. Probably a little bit short of what we expected in some areas, but overall, I think headline was a positive growing quarter. From a festive perspective.
The general view is that economy has slowed down, and especially autos, one of your main key areas. Has that impacted your business? Could this impact your business?
I think we've definitely seen some I would say headwinds. Overall, volume growth has of course slowed down in passenger vehicles. And on commercial vehicles, we are impacted to some extent by companies taking shutdowns in terms of production in their production schedules. It's not been very material thus far, though it has started happening. From an outlook perspective, we don't expect any significant change. Obviously, growth will probably slow down compared to the post-COVID kind of surge we've seen, but we feel good about where we are overall, and the OEMs we work with, including Mahindra and Mahindra, we have strong positions with them, and they seem well positioned as well.
Mr. Swaminathan, just wanted to get in some numbers because, you have infused confidence into how you believe second half is going to be. What is it that that investors can expect in terms of growth? You think a high teens figure is something which is par for the course, and, you did have this margin improvement program as well. Where do you see your EBITDA margin settling in at?
Yeah, I won't give specific guidance, but what we have said after a couple of slightly slow years, both in terms of our contract logistics business and the global freight pricing kind of being impacted negatively, we have seen a recovery and stability in the first half of the year. We are starting to see stronger growth. I think Q3 and Q4 order intake has been stronger, and that kind of bears well with kind of the larger outlooks which we are given over a long term. So I do expect a stronger second half, registering some of those improvements. I think in terms of the profit improvement, most of our businesses are in a good place. Obviously, we have had a challenge in getting our express acquisition fully into play. That's been impacted to a large extent by market environment, and that still remains under some stress. But the rest of the businesses are, I think, coming along quite smoothly from a profitability perspective, in line with what we laid out as goals for those businesses.
Okay. So if India's nominal GDP growth is 12%, logistics are a delta to that, which means for the industry percent, for Mahindra Logistics, at least 17-18% becomes a benchmark?
That's one way to look at it, but unfortunately, it's a mixed bag. We are a portfolio of different businesses. So some of our businesses, like our express business and our freight forwarding business, are directly linked to that phenomenon you talked about. But our contract logistics business is more of a capacity play. So I think it's a mix of both. I think broadly, we should expect our growth to be in the range of 1.1, 1.2 times GDP. But it's really it's non-services, non-agriculture GDP, which really drives our growth.
So I go back to that point again. What you're confirming to us is that even though for the last 2 quarters, the economy personally has slowed down, the high frequency data points are showing that there seems to be demand contraction, whether it is autos or whether it is manufacturing or for that matter, even FMCG. What you're telling us is that you've not felt the heat, you're confident, and the choice of words, what you've used to explain your business is that it's good, you are back on the growth trajectory, and next 2 years will be much better than the last 2 years.
Yes, absolutely. I think we see second quarter, I think our year-on-year growth was around 11%. Right, on the contract logistics business, it was around 7.5%-8% overall. So I think we are starting to see that growth come back, right, and we should be able to consolidate that both given the broad sector, but also the moves which we are making as a firm in terms of increasing customer wallet, share of customer wallet, and increasing the value addition to our clients.
Okay. How much of a business is purely coming from the Mahindra Group, and at what rate will that business grow?
The Mahindra business, is roughly around half our revenue. Almost all of it's really in the contract logistics side, and that should. I think we don't give a specific guidance to any of our client volumes. I think that's really something estimations and volumes they project to us. But I think we expect the overall business to grow at we're hoping it'll grow at early to mid-teens over the next couple of years.
How much of the percentage of the total logistics business of Mahindra Group comes to you? What I'm trying to understand is that if Mahindra Group is growing at 15%, then 50% of your business will grow at least at 15%, to put it very simply. Wo to ghar ki baat hai, like we say.
No, it's ghar ki baat. Yeah, I don't think it's ghar ki baat, but I would say we do obviously get. We have been able to win almost all of the Mahindra Group business, at least in M&M, right, in terms of their logistics volumes and requirements. You must bear in mind that while the business, while cars and passenger vehicles or SUVs grow at a certain level, we are driven as much by distances they travel. So, for example, if there's more customer growth in Eastern India, then we will obviously see higher growth in our revenue compared to growth in Western India, because the distances we move vehicles will be much shorter. Similarly, the same thing is true between rail and road. So there are some nuances which impact the growth, but overall, I think we do get the lion's share, if not almost all, of the Mahindra Group businesses.
Okay, Mr. Swaminathan, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.